and welcome to Season 3, Episode 17 of Les Oderants. I'm Dan, and I am joined, as ever, by Fliss, James, and Ben. Say hello, everyone.
Hello.
A welcome return for James, the Big D, making his official comeback. And sad news to report. James has retired the full 14. What made you do it, James?
I just think, the constant kind of nagging from you, like, are we going to have to go? Are we going to have 30 fucking or 40 odd or whatever? I'm just like, oh, just let's sack it up. No, I don't like anything. I like things to become like a feature. It's good that, but it is a little bit self-indulgent. And I mean, it's only taken me about 2 years or however long this fucking podcast has been going, 3 years? I don't know. To realise that. So I've just sacked it off for a bit. It can come back, And I realise that I'm kind of quite boring and I tend to wear like the same things over and over. So why do you need to hear me go, oh, I wore Antos again? It's just fucking tiresome, isn't it? So I'll be just, a mere mortal like you guys and just talk about fucking two perfumes and that's it, really.
Just arbitrate stuff. What perfumes would you like to talk about, James? Have you got anything good that you can report over the last couple of weeks? Or, in fact, bad or indifferent?
I've been a bit of a fucking nutcase, to be honest. I've bought some vintage perfumes. As you know, a while ago, I sort of told you, didn't I? I bought Bois Noir, Chanel Bois Noir.
Oh, is this the one coming from Japan?
Yeah, well, I bought another one. So I've got 2 Bois Noirs now.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I was going to sell one to you.
and a deal was done.
Yeah. So to be perfectly honest, and I've said this, and this is mad because I've got loads of, I've got Egoist Cologne Concentrate as well, which is quite. I've got a few.
I've got that one. It's a stunner.
Yeah,
I hate that word as well, stunner, but it really is a banging perfume.
Oh yeah. But I'll be perfectly honest. I like my kind of maybe 10-year-old kind of new bottle better than all of them.
Really?
The Cologne Concentrate, yes, is really rich, and yes, those kind of sandalwood accord improves over time. It does definitely get richer and thicker and stuff, but I like a perfume where you get in the top notes and the mid notes and stuff, and I just feel as though I can sacrifice some of that richness. This is like basically a rule of thumb for all vintage perfumes. I get that they smell better in some regard, but I also like, it's a double-edged sword. You're losing something, but you're also gaining something. And it depends how much you want, the base as opposed to the other things that might be a little bit degraded is maybe not the right word, but it's kind of probably accurate.
So you'll trade off a vintage base in order to get fully intact top notes.
Pretty much. It depends on the formula, though. So if the formula has been changed quite dramatically and the new version just isn't as good as the old one, they're fine. But I think with Egoist, although there has been changes probably, I think fundamentally a lot of those things that are in it were still in the original version. I don't know what the very, very new bottles that you buy now are like, but certainly I think mine's from probably about 10 years ago, maybe. And I really like it. To say it's better than the others, I wouldn't own all these different ones if I didn't, like the differences between them. They're all brilliant perfumes. It's one of those where you can't really go wrong. There are some where, where I'm like, I'm not bothered about the vintage because it's really expensive for not much more, but certain things it's worthwhile. So, yeah.
Word on that. Cool. All right. Bois Noir. What else? Anything else exciting?
I got that Akitos as well, didn't I? The Alain Delon.
Oh, the Alain Delon one.
Yeah, which is brand new, not been sprayed, in a box. Pretty special. And I wore that.
How much do you have to fork out for that?
How much do you want to buy it for?
Let's well, I was going to say, let's assume your wife is not listening to this podcast.
She's not here at the moment. And she's not my wife. Well, not yet.
Yet.
Yet. Not yet.
I have to say that to people when they go, "Oh, your wife." She's not my wife. No.
Someone else's wife.
Yeah, she will be. She will be. Bless her. No, she's not in at the moment. I'm actually looking after the boy. I've just plonked him in front of YouTube for a bit, which is great parenting, isn't it? Yeah. So
go on. How much did you pay for it?
Do you know what? I can't remember. I've spent a lot of money on perfume, put it that way, in the last few things. So I got I bought 2 Bois Noirs, and a Kitos, a cologne concentrate. So yeah, a lot of money. Like I can't actually.
You hadn't bought anything for a while, had you?
No, and then I've just got mental.
So you sort of had a big spuff out, kind of thing.
I mean, when you say for a while, I think you'd more or less stopped buying perfume by the time we started doing the podcast.
Well, pretty much.
So,
you say that,
you certainly
but then
haven't bought many bottles.
Well, if you go back, you'll actually go, well, hang on, no, you have been buying stuff. But yeah,
mandate doesn't count.
Well, no, officially, yeah, I think you're probably right on that one. But I go through these phases, do you know what I mean? And some things are just too good to be true. And then, I mean, Rich Mitch, shout out to Rich Mitch, friend of the show, is an enabler. Do you know what I mean? Whenever he's text me, I always hear doom 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 doom. That's Pusher Man, by the way, by Curtis Mayfield.
Okay. I didn't get that, but now obviously I can see it in retrospect.
Yeah, I won't sing it. So anyway, so that's it. He sort of enables he's like, oh, have you seen this on eBay? And I'm like, stop sending me stuff. He sent me a Balenciaga Pour Homme today, and he's like, go on.
You can do it.
Yeah, and he's like, Google, one of us.
One of us.
So anyway, so he keeps sending me things, and I'm like, no, stop it. And yeah, so I'm not going to be buying any more vintage for a while. What else have I had?
If it helps, I told him 3 times yesterday that I'm on a no buy, and yet the adverts and listings on eBay and Vinted still kept coming.
Yeah,
I was like, no, you don't get it. He's terrible.
The guy's a machine.
Terrible enabler. He's a machine. Love him, but yeah.
He keeps abreast of all this stuff. He's got so many connects. He's like fucking... Yeah, it's unbelievable. So
he's a bit like the 5th Les Odorant, to be honest, isn't he, really?
Well...
The 5th Odorant.
Yeah.
The 5-0.
He's a 5-0.
He sent me a PDF the other day. He said, a mate of mine's selling some stuff, right? And I looked at it and I was like... I sent the text message I sent him was like, that's not a listing, that's a fucking shop, man.
Yeah.
Like, it was about 500 things on there. I was like... What on earth? But yeah.
Oh, was that the Canadian?
The Canadian. Yeah. Yes, we all got that, I think. Brilliant. Thank you, Rich.
We love you.
Well, Fliss does. I'm sceptical. I'm extremely dubious about you, Rich. You're not good for any of us. Cool. All right. Well, perfumey stuff. I've literally just dug out my Egoist cologne concentrate and sprayed it, and it's fucking magic, and I'm very happy with it. Perfumey news. I thought I would talk about something surprising. I can say straight off the bat, Fliss, you're going to fucking hate this one. So
okay. That's okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
But I got sent to review Prada Luna Rossa Ocean Eau de Toilette. And actually, it's not awful.
Faint praise.
Well, okay, so it's better than not awful, but Well,
Is it not awful in the British sense?
what in the British sense, meaning actually it's awful?
No, actually, it's not too bad at all.
It's quite pleasant. It's quite pleasant. And the thing is, I've got a slightly weird relationship with marine fragrance. It's like sometimes I like a little bit of the sort of salty seawater type vibe, but if it's too salty or too durable in that sort of phase, I'm looking at you, Silence the Sea, and Perfume and Roma, Aqua di Sal, and stuff like that. I find it like oppressive. But what this one does rather nicely is it just takes this sort of blue shower jelly sort of vibe, which Fliss would hate, but actually it's rather pleasant, and Prada does do that kind of vibe quite nicely. It takes that and it just slides a little sort of slightly sea salty marine breeze on top of it for 10 minutes. It's rather pleasant. Really quite enjoyable perfume, and it's for a high street fragrance that ordinarily I wouldn't even fucking look at. I received it through the post and just was like, this is going to be shit. And I guess, like all things, if your expectations are sort of set very low, then it doesn't take a lot to sort of please you. But I really rather enjoyed it. So that's my thing. Ben, go on.
So is this like, I don't really keep abreast of sort of, without sounding like a pretentious twat, like mainstream designer fragrance, like
really,
news, right?
Ben, you mean you're not the fucking grandmaster of mainstream
twat,
designer?
Yeah.
No, it's all right.
But
I think we know your tastes don't run to the fucking boots counter.
Precisely right. But you mentioned this, and is this a thing? Because I've noticed now there's like 2 or 3 fragrances, including that one, that are all like sea fragrances, like salty marine fragrances being released. Because Issey Miyake is releasing one as well, aren't they? That I mentioned last. I haven't tried it. No, I've not tried that, but I know that they're releasing one as well, and there's another company as well, and they're all like quite mainstream, but they're all going for these super salty like marine things. Is that? I just wondered if it was like a new trend or something.
I think it's been around a while, no, haven't there? There's been sort of aquatic-y sort of things.
Definitely aquatic things, but I just noticed salt being that being a kind of repeating theme. But it might just be like the fact that 2 or 3 are releasing salty fragrances and at the same time.
Yeah,
I wondered if it was like a new trend.
A new trend on the high street. I couldn't speak to the newfangled trends. I mean,
to be fair, I don't think any of us are really sort of hovering around the boots to see the new releases, are we?
I don't know. For some reason, I was just thinking about like kids and skateboards. I don't know what they're doing these days. Old kids with their skateboards and they're trendy marine perfumes. Anyway,
that Luna Rossa has been out for ages, hasn't it? The marine one.
Well, Luna Rossa as a range has, and I don't think this is even a new release actually, because it's the EDT. I think they've done like an EDP and a parfum version of it as well. But it's pretty bloody nice. I mean, I wore
blue.
It to
that bottle is very blue.
Oh, and Fliss, this is your fucking
the nemesis.
Anti-cum. Yeah, this is like this will make you.
I'll slip into menopause very quickly.
There you go, and there you go. Thank you. You said it much better than I could dream up. You would hate this beyond all hate.
I quite like the Luna Rossa line, to be honest. The first one is a kind of salty sea breeze lavender, highly original actually. Bit of orange blossom in it as well. It's like really weirdly good. Minty. It's minty as well. Minty. It's a great perfume. And then
Prada do some good perfumes, right?
They do.
I mean, we've talked a lot about their soapy sort of stuff, but I think Prada makes some good old shit. But I don't know. I just thought this was going to be crap, and it's not.
I think I've said this before as well. I think the last time I went to Paris, which was fucking years ago, and I was mainly in there to look at perfumes, but I did walk around like one of those department stores like Galeries Lafayette or like the Print, whatever it's called. Is it Printworks?
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Yeah.
Printemps.
Yeah. One of those anyway.
Printemps.
And I was in the designer clothes area, and I was just walking around thinking, fucking, you know what I mean? Just being like typical, like cynical fucking $4-5 for a fucking t-shirt. God, who's buying this? And I was looking around, all the, you know what it's like. I was walking around looking
$5,000.
Well, it's all right. I'm exaggerating there, but you know,
it's odd, isn't it? Because we go, oh, who's going to pay £5 for a t-shirt? You put us in front of a Henry Jacques stall, and we will be working out which kidney to sell.
Well, I've never tried any of those Henry
James
Jacques,
won't.
but I take your word for it that they're spectacularly good. Yeah, I know what you mean. People have different things, don't they? And I'm not completely opposed to designery stuff. And this is the point I was making, that I was looking around at all the gear, the clobber, and I was like, like the Prada stuff is the only stuff that I would wear if they made it for, you know, rotund kind of tall men, which they don't really. So, you know, I'm knackered.
Good
there,
use of the word rotund.
Well,
by
yeah,
the way.
but the actual clothes themselves, I was like, I actually quite like they're good. Like all the other stuff was
The style.
shite. Yeah. Yeah, so I quite like Prada, and they've not done many bad perfumes really, and I think that Luna Rossa line, yeah, they did one that was Sauvage-esque. I think it's called Carbon.
Yeah, Carbon, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's right.
the
yeah.
rest of the line, I mean, is pretty solid. I've got like an O Sport or something in that line. So there's a discontinued one as well called a black one called. I can't remember, but it was the second one they released, and then they discontinued it. That's really
Was
good.
it Extreme?
Extreme? Yeah, that one. That's a kind of ambery, sort of warm kind of version, but not dissimilar to the original in a weird way. Anyway,
Solid stuff.
Yeah, it is.
And you're right about the Prada look. I think the Prada look is very cool.
It's very clean.
I'm sure Ben.
I don't know if that's
clean,
like,
sharp
people
lines.
don't like saying clean, but you know what I mean. It's like, yeah, sharp and sort of, yeah, I like that.
Yeah, Ben, do you have any Prada wear? You strike me as the kind of guy who probably does.
I have a Prada
somewhere.
bag. No clothes. I've got a Prada bag though. Man
Nice.
bag.
I noticed you're wearing Vivienne Westwood today.
Nice, get in. So am I, actually. Look at that headscarf.
Oh wow, look, it's Vivienne Westwood all round.
Crazily, the scarf was probably much more expensive than the jumper.
No, because I got it on a second-hand store. So.
Oh,
Hey.
well. Anyway, we got sidetracked. Perfume. I wanted to talk briefly about Mind Games. Has anyone seen Mind Games perfumes?
Yes.
They are all the rage everywhere, and I tried. This is fucking stupid. I tried a clone of one called Blockade, and the clone was called Brocade or something like that. And I really liked the clone. I was like, oh, this smells great. I'll have to try and seek out a bottle of the original one. But then I got the original one, and it doesn't really smell all that much like the clone. It basically smells like Aventus crossed with Herba Pura. And I low-key hate it. And I'm
No, you just fucking hate it. That's
well, I don't hate it as much as I hate Herba Pura, because it doesn't do that sort of like nuclear assault of kind of angry fruit that Herba Pura does, but it's got something about the Herba Pura lurking below the surface, and I looked on Fragrantica, and nobody else seems to think it smells like this. But I get Aventus crossed with Herba Pura, and it sort of smells superficially pleasant, but then it's kind of annoying. And I do wonder whether it literally is not just Aventus mixed with Herba Pura, because I think this is like a sort of, this is almost the sort of lazy way of creating new perfumes now. Is you take two things and then you
stick them in a gravy boat
together, and you go, yeah, whack them in a gravy boat. Yeah, exactly. Pour it on your chips. Anyway, it was.
I have to say, I'm looking at the notes on Fragrantica, and I just think that there's some there's some things that just don't hang in there at all. Like it's got mango, bergamot, pink pepper, all of that's good. Mango blossom, good. But then it's got tomato leaf, possibly.
Yeah.
But then lavender and watery cyclamen and star anise. It just feels like someone's just shoved.
I don't think those are even right. I think someone's just literally dreamt up a list of stuff to make it sound other than what it is. Anyway, I did not enjoy that. And the only other thing I wanted to report was that I wore Reflection, 45? Yeah, Reflection 45 the other day, and I really enjoyed it. But for the first time, I noticed how peppery it is. And to me, it's always been quite a floral sort of thing, primarily. But for some reason, it just smelled really peppery all day on me.
And was it the pepper that you don't like? Because you have a bit of a thing about pepper, right?
I have a bit of a thing about most things, it turns out. But no, it was all right. It was all right, but it wasn't... I don't know, it wasn't the same experience as I'd had previously, which of itself I found kind of interesting, right? Isn't it odd that you can wear the same perfume on different days and you maybe even have the exact same day? You know, it wasn't like I did something radically different or anything, but the experience of the perfume is just completely different.
I think that's the case more so with those higher concentration amouages, that different things pop out differently. Even more so. The original's more. I don't know. There's just a difference. No, yeah.
you were fading away from making a point.
I made my point now. Fucking don't labour it. You know what I mean? Right. Okay, Ben, tell me perfume stuff. So what's been going on?
Really boring for me. I've been wearing like Au Noir, actually, loads. Dior Au Noir for like weeks.
I say nice, it's horrible, but
yeah, it's sort of like I quite like enjoy that aspect of it. That you know that you're sort of creeping around some like effluvious sort of emanation coming from you, and everyone is just hates it, and you're just like, yeah, no, I smell brilliant.
I'm always reminded was it Dan who said he's sitting by the bins at the back of a curry house or something like that?
Yeah.
That's basically
great.
Exactly it. Nice.
But I did like true to form, go to the Penhaligon shop and try the new trade routes, Lula. Which was a fantastic experience, because you walk in there, right, and they're obviously super friendly. And he was like, "Have you tried any of our fragrances before?" And I was like, "Do you know who I am?
Yeah.
Have you heard of Les Oderants?" No, but instead I was like,
I'm Ben of Les Oderants, you fuck.
I'm kind of a big deal.
Yeah, I was like,
you know what I mean?
Exactly. I've smelled a few things in my life, yeah. No, I was like, no, really, just a couple. Like, because I don't want to admit that actually I'm a fucking nerd and I'd probably smell everything in the shop. But
the thing I like to smell of the most is my own farts.
But yeah, it was actually really nice.
Yeah. But nice is such a sort of...
Yeah, so I thought it was actually quite similar to Petra, which I said to him was one of the ones, because one of the ones that I admitted to smelling. I said, yeah, I've smelled a few, like Petra's nice. And he was like, oh, it's getting discontinued. And I was like,
really?
Yeah. To be honest, I was kind of surprised when he said it, and then I was like, thinking about it, I'm not surprised, because it's actually the first fucking...
Is that the licoricey one?
Yeah.
Petra?
Yeah. It's a bit dangerous for them, isn't it, really? It sort of makes sense, you know. I feel like they are quite brutal with their discontinuations, aren't they? They're like, you know, if it's not selling, fuck it, chop it. So, so I wasn't that surprised. But Alula, I actually thought was really nice. It starts off quite horrible, actually. It's like plum. And I'm not that keen on plum.
It was quite nice by starting horrible. Well done.
Yeah. Well, so the good thing is, plum perfumes are difficult, I think. I've not smelt many that I've enjoyed in my life.
I love a good plum perfume.
Exactly, a good plum perfume, but that's the difference, right? A lot of it is just, and like this one, it feels like the plum is just an add-on, right?
Right.
Happy news is after about 5 minutes, that plum's gone, right? And it turns into essentially a really sweet cherry tobacco, and it's got like a really realistic, loose leaf tobacco smell to it, and that's really fucking nice. I love those, like, really realistic sort of cherry loose leaf tobacco. It's exactly what it smells like. But it's quite sweet. It does have quite like a vanillic sort of ambery base that keeps it like definitely on the side of sweet. I thought it was really nice. I'm going to buy it, but not from there at retail.
No,
Fuck that shit.
Never at retail.
No, but like if I can get it for like a good price, which I would say is at 80-90 quid, then I'm going to buy it because I think it was really nice.
It's called
sounds
what
to me
again?
as
Sorry.
Sorry.
Alula, or I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's
Alula.
AL. Alula maybe, because I think it's a place, isn't it? Alula.
Right, yeah, got it.
But it sounds to me as if they've kind of like the most daring bit is the bit that doesn't last, and they've gone quite safe again.
Oh, it's completely safe. Yeah, it's definitely like Penhaligon's MO all over. It doesn't last super long. It's not very strong projecting. It's soft. It's pleasant. It's nice. If it didn't have that tobacco note, I would have forgotten about it already. But I'm just a bit of a sucker for those. Like, I used to go to this tobacco shop on Bond Street in Brighton, and it was this like really eccentric old man, and the whole shop was completely eccentric. You know, it was a complete throwback. It was like, and it sold like it was like pick and mix, but for tobacco. And you went in there and said, "I'll have a kilo, like 20 grams of that or whatever," and he would get it off the shelf like from a corner shop and get your penny sweets out. And it was just, this whole shop just smelled incredible, and this is what it smells like. And so if that's the thing that drags me into it, really. If it wasn't for that, I probably would have forgotten about it. But I do love those like really lovely tobacco notes like that. And I thought it was nice, and it is a kind of nice pinky colour, which is nice. But it was nice. It was pleasant.
Story of the brand, nice and pleasant.
That I would say, like, overall, if you're not interested in tobacco at all, it will do nothing for you.
Do you still smoke, Ben?
Because
tobacco?
I don't.
No.
I don't smoke tobacco at all. I quit like 5 years ago, and I haven't smoked since. And to be honest, the smell of loose leaf tobacco, like I say, like I still love that. It's something really nice about that. It's when it's burning, it's a problem. But
it's
like,
when it's actually burnt and exhaled by someone.
Yeah, but yeah, no. So it was nice. I would say it's a solid tobacco fragrance, but if you're not interested in tobacco, it's a hard meh.
Hard meh. Okay,
but
cool.
I say we'll keep an eye out for a Bargs bottle at some point, because I liked it enough to think, I'd wear that.
Even on the website, even on the website, they come up as unboxed testers,
unboxed sales and stuff.
And you can even, and if you've got 20% off and it's an unboxed tester in the sale, you can sweep up. I think I got some full bottles without the boxes. I think I was paying 50 quid at one point.
Yeah, I got. I don't know if you remember this. But last year, I think it was, I got sent a link to the Penhaligon sale, and everything was like 30 quid. And it turned out that the website had been cloned, and it was called Penhaligon's.
Nice.
They just cloned it, and like fucking ridiculous. Anywho, right, good. Ben, anything else you would like to bring to our collective attention?
No, I don't think so.
Right, good. Fliss, tell us something perfume-ish. And keep it clean, you smutty bastard.
I will try to. So this Atelier Français de Matière Grand Cru, which I didn't completely
I was listening back to the last episode, and your pronunciation of that French was like, you were swinging for the fences, weren't you?
I don't know what I'm doing. And I know that last week I was very on the fence.
You were meh. You were mad about the whole thing.
I was so meh. I tried the Jasmine de Sharifa one, and I have to say it was lovely. It was fucking lovely. And I sat down, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to eat my words. This is the one for the line for me. It was a bit peppery to start with, but nowhere near as peppery as the vanilla-y one. And then I began to suspect it of being a bit thin, and I was like, oh, where's it gone? And then for the next hour, every time I moved, I had the most delightful jasmine soliflor sillage just smacked me back in my own face. It was
nice,
absolutely beautiful. And I was just getting to the point where I was about to text Rich Mitch, because obviously he'd sent them. And it just stopped. And
What?
I know. And
Well,
it just
like the TV, it just went off.
And it just sort of very quickly suddenly dried down to something a bit dull. And I was so disappointed. I was like, oh my God, this is actually beautiful for an hour or an hour and a half. But then it just went nowhere. And again, I felt like the whole thing hadn't been completely finished. And in comparison to something like Jasmine Rouge by Tom Ford or À la Nuit by Serge Lutens, which is my gold standard jasmine, I just thought, that's what I felt like. And I just felt sad that I'd got off the fence and began running around the field of jasmines, and then after about an hour and a half, I realised
You're back on the fence.
Get back on the fence again.
Get back on that fence. Wow.
So that was a bit dull.
I'm
under strict instructions from Rich Mitch to send them to you, James, because he wants an arbiter's consideration.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, so I was going to send them to you this week, and then you can have a sniff. But I was, it was delightful for an hour and a half. But I think for something that's that expensive, again, I want more than an hour and a half. I'm not afraid to spend money and just enjoy an hour and a half or 2 hours. We talked about that in the summer stuff, colognes and stuff. You don't always want to be hit over the head for beast mode for 16 hours or whatever. But I did resent it, this short-lived frag.
Yeah.
So that was that.
I already kind of think I know what to expect, especially with this kind of showcasing materials type like brief. I'm assuming they weren't done by Antoine Lee. I'm assuming that Les Indomables was more of a, okay, let's actually showcase the materials in a composition where the whole point. I also don't like. There's no reason why you can't do this and you can't make a great perfume with one material that's the showcase, right? But usually they have 2 or 3, don't they? In Les and Indomables, they'll say, "Oh, we've got, even if it's like carrot seed oil from somewhere, and we've got this," and they tell you the exact amounts they put in. It's usually a trio of things, and that, to me, is a composition that's more interesting than going, "Oh, we've got this really good vanilla, and we based everything around that," because you kind of almost know what you're going to expect, or I don't know.
I mean, it was a beautiful, classy jasmine. I was thinking, but I just wanted it to go somewhere else. And once the jasmine had kind of burnt off, that initialness, it just stopped and became a very, very sort of almost hay-like skin scent that I just, and like, as you said about being a composition, and I mentioned last week, I just don't feel as if they're finished perfumes, and therefore don't put them in a bottle and sell them as such. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, you were super underwhelmed last week. And
my whelm was under... Yeah. I think it's good to give people another try, though, right?
Yeah. Although you reached the same conclusion. So
yeah, I did. I did.
Sure. Okay. Other than you being somewhat fence upon sitting with your Grand Cru gubbins, what else have you got to tell us, Fliss?
I also tested Nemus, which is by Fragments, from a collection or a line called Fragments by NVC, which is a Bertrand Duchefort line.
As in November Victor Charlie?
Yeah.
I've never heard of this.
No, I was sent, lovely Ksenia, Love is a Scent from Insta, sent me this little box of their line ages ago, and I was having a clear out of my desk and I found it and I was like, oh my God, I haven't tried this.
Sorry, I just need to say about Love is a Scent. Every time I see her Instagram, for some reason my brain reads it as Lavisa Scent.
Lavisa. We'll just call it Lavisa.
My name's Lavisa.
Lavisa.
Weird. That's a stupid name. You made that up. Anyway, go on. Carry on.
But she does do beautiful, beautiful pictures. Her photographs.
Very nice. Very nice. Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, and I really liked it. And I was like, it's Bertrand Duchefort. We all know I love a bit of Uncle Bertie. And I really like it. It's a very creamy, milky, spicy concoction. It feels there's almost like a rice note, and also a slight chai note. It feels very, I'm going to say, of India, if you know what I mean. And it reminded me very much of travelling and having chai and scented rices and all of that kind of stuff. And it's very soft and warm and quite summery. It reminded me a bit of the rice note in Voices. And also there's an Atelier Oderants used to be called Filipino Houseboy, but I think they've changed the name because you can't call something Filipino Houseboy anymore. But both of those have got very sort of like creamy, milky rice notes, and it's definitely got in that line. I really enjoyed it for the time that I wore it. I don't know if I would want to wear it for any length of time or have a bottle of it. It's one of those things I think maybe 10 ml might see me for the rest of my life kind of thing. But I'm looking forward to trying the rest of the line because I feel as if there's something a little bit more experimental about them. There's another one called Perfume, which is in the same box, and that's a Cristiano Canale. And it's very sweet brown, kind of tobacco, boozy rum, licorice, and loads of sweet incenses. And it smells very similar to the discontinued Sahara Noir of Tom Ford fame. Oh. And I smelt it and I was like, if you love Tom Ford and you don't want to be, whacking out $1,000 for a bottle as it is on eBay these days or whatever it is, then a little bit of that would be very nice.
I think I prefer.
I liked them both. I felt that they were really accomplished and niche in the very best way. Very, very accomplished. And even though I probably wouldn't bother buying a bottle of either, I thought that I like that line and I can't wait to try the other two.
Sorry, I was just going to say I think I preferred Bangkok Ladyboy. Anyway, NVC, that's, what's her name, isn't it? Neela Vermeer. Is that who you're on about?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. I've tried that line. Didn't you send me? No, Rich Mitch, I think I bought the samples off him because they were quite difficult to get hold of. So which one did you try? Nemus, was it? Did you say?
I tried Nemus and also Purpurium.
Oh, yeah, I really like those. I thought they were fantastic.
Yeah, they're lovely, aren't they?
Yeah, really good.
Really, really...
Purpurium.
Yeah, it's very thick and heavy, sweet amber. It runs very, very similar to the Sahara Noir that's like everyone's darling and was discontinued. I really like them. It's maybe a bit heavy for the weather that I was wearing it in. Although looking out of the window today, perhaps I should be getting all my heavy sweet ambers back out again because it's been fucking
crazy. I know. It's fucking bullshit. We'll talk about summer in a bit, but I mean,
summer.
Fucking,
I love the way you
it's an absolute
that word out.
Joke. It is an absolute fucking joke, and I know it's a British preoccupation to talk about the weather, but I mean, I had to drive up to my mum's earlier, and it was raining like some sort of, Asian monsoon. It was absolutely fucking bananas. This is not British summer. This is just.
And you wouldn't mind if it was raining like an Asian monsoon if the sun came out and cleared it all up. But it doesn't.
No. It just keeps fucking raining.
The heating on last week.
Yeah. Fucking heating.
We had the log burner on last night.
We
had the log burner on last night. Oh, and then we had some pins for tea.
We sound like a bunch of twats. Right. So, look, there's something I want to talk about. I don't know. I want us to talk about. And I don't know how I pivot, really, from, what we were just talking about, British summertime, to the subject of Saddam Hussein. Nevertheless, we're going to try. James sent earlier a link to an Instagram account called, I can't even remember.
The Perfumist.
The Perfumist. And they are advertising a perfume. And they're sort of...
It's like Creed, but the mental, like Creed on acid.
Yes, Creed gone crazy. And their credentials are basically that they used to sell this perfume to Saddam Hussein. And the intro starts was saying like Saddam Hussein was killed, blah blah blah.
Well,
okay,
the
fine,
intro
that's sort of
starts
factual.
with a picture of a noose.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, picture of a noose. Yeah, Saddam Hussein was killed, but then it sort of segues into Saddam Hussein was a guy who knew a little bit about the finer things in life,
Finer things
which is
in
like,
life. Most dictators do.
Are you fucking mad, cuz?
Yeah.
And do you know what? This actually sparked a memory for me. I had to do a colleague and I had to do a sort of presentation at some event. So we're on stage to talk to like, I don't know, 200 IT people about the concept of storytelling. And I had no idea what my mate Glenn was going to say. But he basically opened with, well, you can say what you want about Adolf Hitler, but he was really good at telling a story. And like the whole fucking room went, I was like,
Say that.
what? It's like, dude, what the fuck are you on about? So, you can say what you want about him. Oh, can we?
He was a
Thank
very
you.
charismatic speaker. I mean, you know.
Exactly. Oh, brilliant. Yes. I think it's entirely appropriate to point out the fucking strengths of, a homicidal
Murderous regimes. Amazing.
dictator. Yeah, quite. So back to Saddam Hussein, who apparently knew a bit about the finer things in life.
And
What
you
the
can
fuck?
buy a little bottle of the perfume oil that was made for him.
Yeah,
If you
that sounds
wanted
great.
to.
I honestly, I think it's just
say,
a hard pass.
There was some slight clarification because the advert was terrible. Like you say, there was a noose at the start of it. They did about 6 different ones. I was like, fucking hell, they're really pushing this. And
The
one of
feed
them,
is full of them.
yeah,
Full of them.
And one of them was what I found more offensive than the Saddam Hussein stuff was the fact that they'd made it all on AI. Clearly, because even the writing on the bottle that was supposed to say, you know, for President fucking Hussein or whatever, was all misspelled and like, you know, just made up bollocks, gobbledygook words. And it's like, I know that AI does that, and I could tell it was, you know, you can see that it's AI, and it's like, well, that's just shit for a brand to do that. But anyway, I'll just read because they have sort of. How can you clarify the backstep? You know. Yeah, sort of tried to, I don't know, bit of damage limitation, I don't know. On the day of Eid, he was executed based on the judgment of an Iraqi court for war crimes. Many years later, someone who knew me and knew that I made musk oils for the president contacted me and said there was a documentary with his granddaughter, and she mentioned and showed a bottle of musk and a perfume that he used. Is this your musk? Luckily, my friend recorded part of it, and later I watched it with tears. It wasn't because I followed him or liked him as a person, as I know millions of people were harmed and suffered because of his regime and actions, but because he was a client, and I would even say a friend.
Oh my
for
fucking
whom
God.
I
This
made
is such a
one
good
of
clarification.
the best musk oils, and I will remember it for the rest of my life.
That is fucking awesome.
He's
well
really
done.
dug a hole there, hasn't he?
That was some
I
fucking
mean,
Kevin
that-
Spacey level shit, wasn't it? Fuck.
That is amazing. I mean, wow. I mean, I know, I know millions of people were harmed / brutally murdered. But you know, he was a client, and dare I say, a friend of mine. So that's all right. And this was the musk oil.
Yeah,
that is so fucking surreal. I mean, that just absolutely, you know, twists my noodle. Mental.
And now you can purchase the finishing touches to your dictator's cosplay outfit.
Yes. Yeah. I'll get the old Mao Zedong fucking
Sheepra.
Sheepra. Yeah. The Hitlerian fougere. You know, what else? I mean, maybe we should just do like serial killers, perfumes inspired by the Fred West. What? Where does this stop? James, this should be your specialist subject. Dark fucking shit.
Yeah.
I bet you it would have an audience, and I bet you it would be big. Well, bigger than you imagine.
Yeah, wow. I mean, who wants to smell like Saddam Hussein? That in fact, that would be a good name for.
I mean, he famously had like a harem of women, right? So I guess you can say it was a panty dropper.
Yeah.
Should I just stop now?
I think there's a strange set of noises from Fliss there.
I'm just an ick. There's a lot of ick.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I think on the whole, Saddam Hussein, I made perfume for Saddam Hussein, and you can own it too, is not a great advert.
Can we potentially cover some other news? Because there was also that BBC documentary, which I still haven't watched, by the way. But I have seen excerpts, and I know that our friend of the podcast, Christophe Laudemiel, was involved in it. And it's very much something that he's been talking about. And it's very much something that you go, okay, we know that like exploitation and this kind of stuff still happens, even though, you know, they're supposed to be all fucking, you know, more ethical and whatever with how they're sourcing things. And again, I don't know whether we get into this conversation now, but it's quite a difficult sort of area. I don't know how much sort of evidence they produce or whatever. I think it's pretty damning. And it is effectively, I mean, you've got to say the book stops with the people at the top, you know, L'Oreal and the likes of these other parent companies that are allowing this. Was it L'Oreal and Estee Lauder that they mainly?
Yeah. But there's also been some stuff about Dior coming out, not necessarily about the perfumes, but about sweatshops in their clothes and handbag lines.
Yeah.
So, you know, they've blood all over their hands with their entire, you know, merchandise.
This was where the Dior employees had to work, had to sleep in the factories and stuff in order to make sure production schedules were met and stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty fucking grim thing. I do think, to be honest, I do think we should do a separate episode on it because whilst it probably lacks a particularly humorous angle, I think it's probably an important thing to discuss. So my vote is that we do a separate episode at some point and on you know, the ethical issues there within perfumery. I think that'd be quite interesting, actually.
It'd be interesting as well to maybe get a couple of sound bites or even interviews from people who are running very ethical companies and asking them how are they sourcing and how it changes their pricing or their profits or whatever. I think it'd be cool to sort of kind of really dig into it a bit.
I think it's a little bit of a minefield, actually, because I suspect there's a lot of false kind of virtue signalling by people and a lot of bullshittery involved. I mean, with Soma, I've just steered clear from talking about it altogether, and that's not to say that anything is sourced unethically. It's not, but
but it's even when it comes down to like vegan claims and things that you go, this could be good from a commercial point of view, or just ticking a box or trying to appeal to certain people. But unless you do your full due diligence on where all those, even where some of the chemicals, like the precursors, come from, they could be derived from animal products or whatever, and people don't know it. And even like knowledgeable people are like, I get my chemicals from here or whatever, and you're like, are you fully sure that there's no thing in it? And I don't think that unless you really, really, you know, dig down into it, that I don't know how they can be sure. And I certainly
I think a lot of people are not. Yeah, it's just marketing shit. It's cynical marketing shit. A lot of it. I worry about that. But we've got sufficiently off track that I'm going to wrap up proceedings. I know that we have got a full part 2, where I will be assisting Ben's sister-in-law getting married. Not me personally. We will all be providing assistance and recommending summary scents to get married to, which sounds horrific, but actually will be fucking awesome. Did you just say, oh?
We're doing more than just that, though, aren't we?
Nah.
Okay.
No, you will do exactly what I fucking tell you, son. All right?
I will not, darling.
I know. Oh, God. Right, we'll be back in 5 minutes. Stick with us. Bye.
Bye.
Hello and welcome back to part 2 of Les Oderants. This week, well, we're doing two things. We are finishing off our summer stuff because, as usual, we got to the end of our summer episode and realised there was fucking loads of stuff missing that we should have done. But also, we're helping Ben's sister-in-law get married, but it's not Ben's sister-in-law. So a correction to part 1, it's Ben's partner's cousin, which is fucking tenuous. Ben.
Yes.
Basically a stranger.
So basically, I've never met them.
Right.
I do know.
Amazing.
I do know. Well, I've spoke to them over like Zoom and stuff.
Right.
The details that I can give you, it's in May, but it's in Barcelona.
Ah.
So.
Ooh.
So it'll be sunny and warm. Love Barcelona.
Yeah, the bride is Swiss and she works in fashion industry and is pretty fashion forward. And she likes roses, but nothing heavy. She wants like a light rose. The guy is a very cool, very good looking guy from Ecuador, and he likes leather.
I hate him already.
I know, right? And
I fucking hate him. Cool, good-looking Ecuadorian. You bastard.
I know, right?
Marrying gorgeous, fashion-forward Swiss lady.
I would like to exchange my life for his life, please. Could we swap?
So that's basically everything I know. And the request is that they would like perfumes for their wedding. My initial reaction, just might as well get them out there now. Like my first reactions were, before I found out about the rose, I was like, well, either Ubergant Calque Fleur or Hermes Faubourg.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
But then they said, well, she likes a rose. So when I started thinking, okay. And what I sort of finished on, because it's an easy rose that everybody loves and is a bit of a crowd pleaser, but it's not something that I would really like, is Parfum de Marly Delina exclusive, because that's a rose that everybody fucking likes, right?
No, everyone does not fucking like it at all. I fucking hate it. It's the most disgusting, over the top, smash you in your head, just forever.
It is quite brutal, but you said exclusive. Is the exclusive different to the standard in any substantive
Not enough,
way?
Probably. Just I wouldn't have thought.
Brutal in a private room, I don't know, just no.
So that's why I basically thought I should ask you guys, because then I was like, I'm not really happy with that. Like, I know that it's a crowd pleaser and I know that a lot of people love it, but I'm not happy with that as a suggestion because it's shit. For the guy, I had one really, well, two, but one I can't afford. It was Derby, and if I could afford it, I'd be buying it for myself, not him. But the other one was Hermes Bellamy.
Ooh, nice. Suave.
So that's where we start in. That's our starting point.
So for the guy, if he likes a leather and he wants, and it's bearing in mind it's going to be hot, so he's not going to want fucking leather oud by Dior or some sort of nasty fucking fecal thing like hard leather or anything like that. My suggestion, and it does sound like money is no object to these bastards, though I hate them already, but I would go with Rubius Milano Bleu.
That's fucking good as well, but again, it's fucking expensive. So bear in mind,
aren't they getting married in Switzerland?
No, Barcelona.
Oh, Barcelona.
Or maybe they could go. Maybe they could go local, and you know, so something from Carna, Barcelona, the brand. Sandor 70s is a very good leathery sort of boozy type perfume, Barcelona made, Barcelona based brand obviously, and currently is on eBay on the perfume, what do they call it, the Perfume Playground outlet. Have got it for like 60 quid or something, which is fucking bananas really. It's quite a smoky sort of nightclubby type, like not kind of modern nightclub, but like I think Sandor 70s was, or maybe Sandor was the name of the nightclub in the 70s, is what they were sort of trying to encapsulate with the perfume. So there's lots of leather and smoke and booze and stuff, but it's really cool perfume. But yeah, I would have said Rubius Blur, or maybe just like a Dior Homme if you want something not. Because I mean, the reality, right, is you're getting married. You don't, unless you're an absolute weirdo like us. You know, your perfume isn't the most important part of the day, and you don't want everyone to remember, you know, the perfume that choked them out. So probably I would advise against.
That was my concern.
Yeah, I would advise against Delina, because, you know, even if people like it, it's like a noxious chemical. You know, it's really strong, and I would probably avoid that. So, but yeah, I mean, you sort of, I think you're on the right track with Hermes as well. You can't really go wrong with Hermes, can you? So
you can't go wrong with Hermes. But I was also just thinking, I mean, a lot of my suggestions and looking at my spreadsheet, obviously, are possibly a little bit old-fashioned. So I was just thinking of, I mean, Gutaldi, some lovely roses. Rose Absolute's just lovely. And L'Artisan Parfumeur does a beautiful, watery rose called Drôle de Rose, which is really, really nice. And Terry de Ginsberg does Rouge Nocturne.
Terre. You've got to say it like that. Terre.
Terre de Ginsberg. It's called Rouge Nocturne, and it's very beautiful, soft, powdery rose, but it's got a hint of patchouli in the bottom that just gives it a little bit more oomph, but it is very powdery. I was thinking Nightingale by Zoologist is something that I can imagine her looking at and going, oh, and it's not necessarily full on rose, but it's rosy with all those lovely other petals in there. It's so creamy, and it's a delightfully feminine perfume to wear without it being old-fashioned or cloying or something.
So for me, the Groom's fragrance was a little bit easier in the sense that, in a way, I didn't really know. I was just going to leave it to you guys, because like nice leathers are not really my wheelhouse, right? but the
nasty
brides, leather. Yeah, exactly. If he wants shit, then I can.
Well, it was a lovely wedding, but the groom did seem to smell of shit.
A little bit afraid. But the bride's one was the one that I thought was more interesting, because she's sort of fashionable. So it's like you're trying to balance like this kind of like classic princessy rose, right, for a wedding, but also you don't want to go too old fashioned with that, because she works with fashion and like she's all like trendy as fuck and that. So you know, it's a tricky brief.
I think Missy, Chanel Exclusives, she should go and have a sniff.
You know what? The other one that I was tossing up was Le Fil de Berlin by Serge Luton.
Nice. Yes, that's quite a jammy rose as well, isn't it?
Can I go off rose brand and suggest something based purely on your description of her as being fashion forward and, you know, Swiss and, you know, Swiss like hard lines and all that kind of gubbins. And Fliss is going to hate this, but Tilia by Marc-Antoine Barrois, because I think whilst I don't hate it actually, and I know you did hate it, Fliss, but I think it's a very avant-garde kind of perfume, and if she's a a fashionista, then avant-garde, a Swiss fashionista, then avant-garde may well be her thing. Tilia is worth trying because it is, you know, maybe it's a little bit cold or sterile or brutal or however you want to describe it, you know, like a lot of that new beige stuff is, but it might just work. And it's a floral and it's quite feminine, sort of honeysuckle sort of type vibes. Not roses, but, you know, maybe just one to throw in there as a random.
Yeah, I mean, honeysuckle, I think, is a good, like, if you think of, like, weddings and stuff, I think it kind of goes with the theme, right?
Mm. Yeah. Have you tried that one, by the way, James?
Who else does some...
Which one, sorry?
Tilia, the new Marc-Antoine Barrois one. It's another biche one, but Fliss basically put the fucking boot into it last week. She was very uncharitable about it. Very uncharitable indeed.
I just hated every moment of it. It was like being...
It's probably not a strong wedding recommend then, but, you know.
No. Sana, looking at those kind of clean florals, Sana Jardin do a whole range of really delightful perfumes, and they do one called Berber Blonde, which is, again, not roses, but it's orange blossom, and all of their stuff smells incredibly clean and modern. So maybe grabbing a sample set from that line might be worth having a look at as well. Because orange blossom is very weddingy.
Are you thinking clean and modern because of the fashion forwardness of the bride
and the Swissness of it?
I'm all there with the Swissness and the thingy. I think just roses wise, I have tried Lyric Woman, but I remember it was great. But I'm more familiar with Lyric Man. And it's a bit kind of like trying to encourage, you know, oh, here, it's your wedding day, wear this kind of gendered, like, perfume that's for a man. But no, like, who cares? Do you know what I mean?
No, I agree. Well, we don't care, but some people do.
Exactly, we don't care, but it's then you suggest it to somebody, okay, it says man on the bottle, but, like, don't let that put you off. No, I love Lyric Man. And the thing I think is, like, joyous, it's a wedding, a modern rose that has a trail, almost like the train of the dress. I don't know if she's got a train on her dress, but you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of getting a bit like romantic and thinking all this kind of wedding-y shit. So that, or well, no, I would just say like things that are you know, it's a celebration, you know, and that perfume to me has like that sparkle of the resin in it. It's really kind of clean and sort of, you know, it's gorgeous perfume, and it's summery, it's light enough for the, you know, thing. So I'd probably go with something like that, or I would go, like, I was thinking again,
what about Epic as well from Amouage too?
Yeah, potentially.
I thought Epic, but the reason I didn't, so the reason, actually, funnily enough, it was Epic that made me ask the question, what kind of rose, like a heavy dark dusky rose or a lighter like watery rose? Because my first thought was Epic 56, because that's a fucking banger, and that's interesting, and it's got all that incensey stuff to it, which makes it interesting.
And she wouldn't need to reapply throughout the day. Just a couple of sprays at breakfast and you're done.
Yeah.
My sort of concern with that was that it is quite dark and dusky, which is why I then sort of said, okay, I need, you know, what kind of rose are we talking? Like rose waters or like dark, like dusty roses? And yes, you went more for the lighter, sparkly roses.
I also want to put into the ring Gallop.
Oh, yes. Yes,
the newer Hermes one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good shout. It's the rose in it is just exquisite, but the leather just toughens it up a little bit. So
bit of leather for the groom as well. You know, he could be like, oh,
yeah,
it's kind of. They could both wear it.
Bit of leather for the groom. Hey. That sounded really weird.
See, but that's the second trick, right? Is you do want the perfumes to work together as
well. Yeah.
Well, she could wear Galop and he could wear Cuir d'Ange.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, for him, like I think the Bellamy, or also on the Hermes side of things, would be a good shout. Or what was a good leathery one? I think Dan mentioned this. I think for a dressy sort of occasion, there is nothing wrong with going down the Dior Homme route, because that's a very classy, lovely perfume and leathery. Or the Chanel's that I think this brought up. You know what I'm going to say. Obviously, I would go with Cuir de Russie for the man. Yeah, so it's got...
Actually, Cuir de Russie and Misia would actually go quite nicely together.
Yeah.
Because Misia, I think, can be a little bit too sweet, but actually, if they were like melding together as they wafted back down the aisle.
Melding. I mean, I feel like could use more information about the two individuals, really, and you know, what sort of aesthetic they would go for. But I mean, I guess the one thing I would urge is that whatever it is, they put more thought into it than just fucking grabbing a bottle of Sauvage, because I do know that a lot of people will just do that. It's like, oh yeah, I mean, it's the same as putting on deodorant to them or something, or the same as, you know, washing your face. It's just, oh yeah, do that, spray some fucking smell on me and good to go. Just for fuck's sake, be better than Dior Sauvage, please, for your wedding. James, while we were doing that, it occurred to me, have you thought about your wedding fragrance? Because you're planning a wedding yourself, no?
Yes. It's not until April.
It's funny, I didn't get my invite yet, but...
Well, interesting. It's not far from you. It's in Stockport.
Oh, is it? Stocky P?
Yeah.
Excellent.
So
I'll be over.
Fire, guys. You know, I've not even fucking sorted out my stag do or anything yet. That's the main concern.
Will you be wearing Fahrenheit?
I don't know. I thought about it.
Oh, sheep propeller tans, surely.
Yeah, something like that. I think, yeah, probably. I mean, I'm spoiled for choice, really. It's not like, it's really important. I've got loads of fragrances that already have loads of meaning to me. I don't feel I can get, like, I love the fact that, like, you obviously, like Ben's mentioning these people who are probably not like big perfume people, but they want it to be really special for their special occasion. I'm a little bit more, it's a bit of a busman's holiday for me. I'm like, I've got fucking loads of shit that I could wear. Do you know what I mean? Whereas like somebody who really is putting the thought into it, if you were able to, like us, were able to conjure up some really good things that they go, oh my God, that was amazing and it was really memorable on the day, that would be a beautiful thing. But for me personally, like say, I wouldn't say to Jenny, oh, we should like, you know, get our heads together on what perfume we're going to wear, because she'll be like, no, I'm just going to wear whatever the fuck he wants. And that's fine. So yeah, I don't want to be like a spoilsport, but that is the honest truth. Whatever I wear, it's going to be fucking good in it. Let's face it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't own any shit.
No.
What do you do? What did you wear, Dan?
I was just thinking about this. I'm not absolutely certain. I think it was Terre d'Hermes. But I have a sneaky suspicion it might have been Aventus, but I can't quite remember. But I think I'm probably going to say it was Terre d'Hermes, actually. But it wasn't that, again, it wasn't really even a big deal to me. To be honest, I just wanted to get through the fucking thing, you know, unscathed and without having a fucking, like, you know, just a panic attack at the whole fucking...
What did you wear?
I wore fracas.
Oh.
Fracas.
And...
Oh.
Yeah, and John wore... terrific Oud Low by Terre. Terre.
Well, that's a good, because
that's literally the only bottle he's ever ever worn. He's got one bottle of perfume. It is Terrific Oudleau by Terry de Gunsberg. It was given to him as an engagement present from my friend who used to work for by Terry, and it's still only half used.
Good lad.
I thought you were going to say like one spray missing, which was the wedding day.
No, but your
and
choice.
We've been married nearly 10 years.
Well, your choice is, very elegant, but a little bit naughty as well, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
So
bit naughty.
I like that. You don't want it to be too sanitized. Yeah, they like modern.
I mean,
stuff,
the idea of me at my age getting married and wearing orange blossom and innocent white flowers, that would just be a joke, wouldn't it? Really. Yeah. No, everyone would just be like, oh.
Yeah. So, okay. I mean, there's quite a few suggestions there, I think. And it is a summery wedding, be somewhere nice and warm like Barcelona. But I feel like, on the subject of summer stuff, we didn't quite nail the whole summer schedule last week, did we? And I know we talked about a few things. There was the obvious citrusy things, but then Fliss in a whole kind of Hermione Granger sort of vibe busted out like category after category that we hadn't properly considered. So I'm sort of thinking, Fliss, maybe we just throw it back to you for the next bloody summer category that we then have to unpack, because you were like soliflores, multiflores, roses, summer rose, summer tea fragrance, summer cracked pepper fragrances, it's like one thing after another.
Can I just suggest one more wedding thing? Because I
of
think
course
we've gone all a little bit, thingy. I'm going to go
thingy.
Yeah,
Posh.
We've gone a bit like all kind of, I got caught
wanky
up in the kind of romantic sort of shit.
Oh, romantic.
Yeah, where we should just go like more hard leather for him and dangerous curves for her. Boom.
Oh,
done.
Fuck yes. Yes. I mean, that is definitely a wedding selection of scents to remember. Yeah. Wow. I think those are great shouts, and definitely we should recommend that they try those blind on the day. Just directly straight in there. Philly boots, hard leather.
Yeah, blind buy. Just
It arrives at breakfast. Your scents, madame, monsieur. Right, summer perfumes part 2. Fliss, what categories did we miss? You're gonna.
Your voice is like, oh God. Well, okay. So I'm just looking at my sheet here, and the categories that we missed are. I think that we missed like super green grassy stuff like that, kind of mowed lawns and chamomile.
See, that is spring. See, I thought about that green Irish tweed, but it's spring. Surely.
I don't know though. I think that there's things like Dieu by Trudon or Wander by Miller Harris or even Le Pavilion d'Or by Dusita, because we do love her, has a dankness and a damp warmth to the green that is not spring. It's a heavier feel. All of those, I think, have a heavier feel to me than spring.
I mean, the Pavilion d'Or's got those white florals, doesn't it, that really make it a more of a summer thing, with those like almost like late night summer florals going in there.
Exactly, late night summer florals. The dew is just beginning to hit the ivy, but it's still warm. There's the gold light feeling about the whole thing. But I'm happy to be proved wrong.
And what about hay? Is hay a summer thing? I'm not agricultural enough.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I
definitely.
Feel like, yeah.
You can get two harvests a year if the weather's right. So you get one late July,
you farmer
and then
girl.
maybe one.
Yeah,
it was sort of end of June, beginning of July if you're lucky, and then maybe another one end of August, beginning of September. So you can get two good hay. I mean, I think it's been a while since many people have had two hay harvesting because of the amount it rains and it just ruins it. But we used to get two hay.
You are
in those long hot
a
summers.
veritable mine of information, but I will then suggest Erawan by Dusita. because that was a lovely,
Yeah.
nice hay-like perfume. Very, very nice. And yeah, I could go that for summer, I guess. Yeah. Erewhon. Yeah, in fact,
That's
I need to pick that one up.
a really unique perfume. That's a really good perfume.
Bottle of Erewhon just sold on eBay for fuck all money. It was up for 85 quid and they took an offer on it.
What did the offer go for?
I don't know, but I considered...
It should come up. It should come up.
Really?
No, it
If
doesn't.
you go to the sold,
It won't tell you what it actually sold for. Bloody hell. £52 plus shipping from Lithuania.
There's a bunch on there from Lithuania at the moment. I don't know really what that's all about.
Are they reliable?
I was going to say, are they reliable?
Well, Isara, Erewhon, both of those sort of got that kind of hay-like vibe.
Isara's fucking magic. Wore that the other day, and actually was my first suggestion for the wedding fragrance for the groom.
Oh, really?
Was Isara, and then I was like, actually, then I found out that it was into leather, and so I scrapped it. But also, I was like, that's fucking expensive. So yeah.
Oh, do you actually have to buy this for them?
I think so.
Oh, really? You have to buy it? In which case, a bottle of fucking CK1 for both of them, probably. Shit.
Paul Smith Rose.
Oh,
It's the
of
nicest
course.
rose out there, and it's $19.99.
And
if you get a tester without the cap on, it's $16.99.
your Healy hippie rose, maybe?
I think that's going to be too hippie for her.
Okay.
I specifically didn't suggest it,
No.
but I think yeah.
Oh, well. Well, fuck you then.
We'll see.
Don't be like that.
But I do love it, obviously.
Obviously.
I do.
Okay, so hay. Hay is nice. We've got a couple of hay suggestions. What else are you thinking? I mean, I think Green Irish Tweed. I do actually wear that in the summer, in fairness, rather than just spring. But
Yeah.
I like that sort of fresh cut, grassy kind of vibe.
Oh, I got one.
Oh, go on.
That's unusual, but Promenade in the Gardens by what's that fucking brand? Maison Margiela. The line.
Oh,
Jazz Club and all that shit.
Jazz Club and all that shit.
I want to say replica.
Replica,
Well
yes.
done.
Maison Margiela Replica. Promenade in the Gardens is a really nice green floral. It smells very much like if you go to a public park about 8 o'clock at night in the summer when they're watering the flowers, watering the beds. It's exactly what it smells like. Lovely green floral.
And then there's the Imaginary Authors do Soft Lawn, and there's 2 editions of Soft Lawn, isn't there? Which is all green and tennis balls.
Yes, yeah.
Which is, I think, is that kind of grassy summer, but with bright yellow. It's got all linden blossom and ivy, and then it's got clay court. And didn't Penhaligon's do one that's got a tennis ball?
Rackets.
That's the
Raquette.
one.
I've not tried that, but someone told me it was terrible.
I mean, it sounds terrible. I think
Yeah.
it sounds like there's something that an indie brand should be creating. And the moment you realise it's Penhaligon's, you're like, really? Is it? I don't know.
What about your favourite genre of perfumes versus sports perfumes?
Oh God, you boys talk amongst yourselves. I'll sit this one.
What? Do women? There must be a women's sort of sport perfume. What are they like? I don't know what. I mean, most men's sport perfumes tend to be like bluey, shower jelly sort of things, or they tend to be like a fresher flanker of the original. Such and such sport.
Yeah.
Oh well, we just take the same and we'll add some fucking. Apart from Ralph Lauren Polo Sport, which has no resemblance whatsoever to Polo.
But it is the only sport fragrance that exists. So
Is it?
It's the only sports fragrance that exists.
as far as I'm concerned, yeah.
But then there's a whole line, I think, of stuff that I'd also got a category for, which was lighter versions of classics. So like,
This is actually a category on your
5.
spreadsheet.
oh yeah. Number 5, Au Premiere.
God.
Fahrenheit has got a light version. So there's all of those.
Aventus Cologne.
Yeah, exactly. There's all of the cologne versions. Habanita La Cologne, which is just fucking brilliant. Just fizzy goodness like elderflower champagne.
That ideal one that we like. Guerlain do that a lot, don't they? Because they have so many flankers.
Yeah.
They do like ones.
A squillion different flankers. Yeah, I'm sort of I'm sort of baffled really at how many different summer categories you've got, Fliss. I mean, how
I'm so sorry.
I mean, we haven't done the obvious one, we haven't done like we didn't do it last week, and we haven't mentioned it yet. But beachy sort of sun creamy sort of fragrances.
But there's juicy tropical fruits, which is like Delta of Venus, Eris, that mango, and Voices, Virgin Island water with the coconut, all of those tropical fruity things. And then there's just big, proper beachy stuff, which we did touch on at the end of last week.
Prada,
which was
Luna Rossa Ocean. I give you Prada Luna Rossa Ocean, beachy shit.
The best one, obviously, is Batucada by L'Artisan Parfumeur.
God.
I mean, fucking hell, this is a fragrance. Like I've never known a fragrance. Like I would never consider myself the sort of pervert that's into sniffing people's underwear. But this fragrance made me doubt that.
That's all.
I'm a pervert, but I'm not interested in sniffing someone's underwear, really. But this perfume makes me doubt that.
Of all the things that you are happy to sniff, though, but not their underwear.
Weird.
I mean, I wouldn't mind it, but I'm just saying, it's not something that drives me. It doesn't get me out of bed in the morning.
Have you noticed how his stance on the whole underwear sniffing is softening and like he's got?
Now he's thinking about it.
So that's the thing. If you smell this perfume, right, and then you will doubt yourself because there is actually I think one of the notes in it is supposedly like skin, right? But it fucking does smell like... I've said it before, and I'm sure I said it on this podcast, but I'm saying it again because it is exactly what it smells like. Later on in the dry down, this smells like when you get back from the beach and you take out, you used, shorts or whatever from your bag, and you've got that kind of, hot, sweaty skin smell, but also beach, very salty. There's, suntan lotion mixed in there. But it's definitely... a scent that it's been, you can definitely smell that it's been worn clothes, right? And that's what this has got. It's fucking saucy as shit. It's so disgustingly,
I love it.
I think it's one of the few ones of that line I haven't ever tried.
Oh my good God, I'm going to send it to you because you being the filthy bitch that you are, will love it. You'll absolutely love it.
There's a lot of perfumes like this, summery stuff, which are okay, it's a fruity musk perfume. How many times have we had this musk and a fruity kind of throwaway perfume, but it has this nice sort of muskiness underneath. That is truly, really, I think the sort of real intent of that, like a more interesting and kind of important use of that, because it does have that slightly worn, it feels, because at first
sugary
it's
drink,
like a tropical drink of some description, sugary drink with a twist of lime to it, but it's also kind of smells like exotic tropical fruit you can't really place. It's just if you went into a bar and went just make me a kind of funky cocktail or something, and you had no idea what was in it, it would be that kind of vibe. But then it just, this sort of saltiness comes through, and this slightly skin kind of beachy sort of effect is always there underneath. And the Batu is like the dance, isn't it? I think that's what it's. I seem to remember reading the blurb or something. So it's like this kind of, and you do very much get that kind of just slightly human aspect to the musk, which, like I say,
Playa Linda's like that.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Playa Linda from
Who's that from?
Chronotope?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Carter Weeks Maddox, and that has got that lovely.
And Playa Linda's a beach, is it?
Peachy, yeah, and it has that peachy, fuzzy osmanthusy top, but then it's got that salty, slightly dirtiness underneath and very fuzzy musk that you're just like, this is definitely a skin that's been sitting in the sun all day, just slightly stewing
Rotting.
in itself and in and out the sea a little bit. And then, no, it's no silence. It's lovely. It's absolutely lovely. I was wearing it again earlier this week. It's just gorgeous.
James, which is the one that you described as being like a Del Boy cocktail?
I remember the episode, but I don't remember the perfume.
It was not Baticada, but it was that same brand, wasn't it?
It will have been Baticada, probably.
Oh, really?
Because I can't
It's
think
definitely
of any
got
other
a cocktail vibe when you
artisans,
first spray it, even though that sort of sugary sort of.
Yeah.
You can almost do like the frosted glass, you know, with the sugar around the glass rim or whatever. It's
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it probably was that one.
No, okay. Cool. Baticada. Right, well, I need to try that one, I guess. All right, so...
Also, sorry, it has jasmine as well, which again adds to the sort of human fleshy the kind of aspect to it as well. So it is fucking beautiful.
I do need to try
Yeah,
it.
it's one of my favourite summer
Opens with Brazilian drink
definitely.
Capriana. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Is there such a thing as a summery oud? Can you have a nice summery oud perfume?
Ah, that's such a good question.
That
Is it?
Tom Ford Marine one, whatever that is.
Oh, God,
Yeah,
no,
one
that
of
is
those.
ghastly. The Tom Ford Oud Mineral. Oh,
Yeah, I'm just saying that to trigger you. I can't even really remember what it's like, but I know you don't like it, so let's talk about it.
It's that off.
Yeah, no,
I picked it last week, didn't I? No, I put it in my
You
list
what?
last week.
You wore it last
or
week?
last episode rather. Yeah.
Oh, you put it in your list, of course, yeah. Yeah, no, that's a terrible, awful abomination of a perfume. Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I find
No, it's all right.
some go on, Ben. Well, some of the salty marini type stuff is quite sort of hard work, obviously, but the affinescence one, the musk and ambergris, I'm not sure it's quite a summer perfume as such, but you know, it's definitely an anytime perfume for me. I think you can wear that absolutely anytime, including to the gym, which is my favourite place to wear that perfume.
There's a summery oud.
Ben.
Shit, it's
Ben.
Spirit of Dubai, Bahrain or something. Baha.
Yes.
Yeah.
Baha. Yes, but that...
I think it's
that's
great.
such
I
a
think it's really
fucking
cool.
weird perfume. That's like... It's like a sort of fresh marine
Yeah.
oud and rose, and it's just it's bizarre.
What?
It's absolutely bizarre as a perfume, and it is kind of nice in a weird way. But yeah, quite summery, agreed. Or about as summery as that house gets. On a side note, they've released some updates to their second generation Spirit of Dubai, so you can they've like done some flankers now. So there's a Narjesi Boise or something flanker, which is like a woodier version thereof, or a Narjesi leather. I don't know, fuck knows. And they will be retailing for presumably the
Eye-watering
same,
prices,
£1,500 for 90 mil. It's terrifying. I mean, nice smelling perfumes, but you know, crazy money. Okay, Fliss, what other categories have you got? Because I feel like you've got a never-ending list of categories.
Well, I do, yeah. I've also got like summer musks, so that very, very clean linen feel, which I think I don't wear. That I wouldn't wear any of those things in the winter.
I don't know whether it would fall under summer musks, but summery, so clean linen is not a bad vibe generally. And
Linen.
There's the Polo. Oh, what's it called? The Ralph Lauren, is it purple label? It smells a bit like the Bond No. 9 Bleecker Street. Basically, yeah, it smells like the sort of fresh detergent clothes. Which is actually quite a nice smell. I mean, it's a nice smell. It's not necessarily an interesting perfume. It's just quite a
Prada,
nice
Amber
smell
Porhomme.
for a bit, you know.
That would probably fit. Yeah, I guess.
Bit heavy,
but
maybe?
I'd slap it on.
Slap it on.
I tried. Have any of you had your Insta feeds be absolutely just drowned in this company called DM?
DM. DIEM.
Hang on a second.
Oh,
Whilst this has gone
gone
to
to
cough up a
lung
lung
somewhere.
Please.
DM. No, never heard of them. Never.
Because they were like,
Never heard of those.
no, they're absolutely all over mine. And they're like, their marketing is really weird. It's all about trying something before you have to buy it. And they make a big thing about sending out samples first. It's almost like you can't buy a bottle until you've had the sample set, but then you get the money from the sample set off the bottle. And it just, I don't know, there's something about the marketing that just makes me feel a bit like, you're not doing anything special. But they had an offer on that it was like 10 quid for their sample set. And I bought it. And the weird thing with the sample set as well is you can't just order the samples of the perfumes that you think you want. They make you do this like quiz about how you are, what you like. And then they send you the samples that they think you're going to fit
hate that. Fucking... Yeah,
I know.
You
But
are
anyway,
just a cunt and you couldn't possibly make your own mind up, so we're going to do it. There's an optician up the road from me, and they call themselves a fucking styling optician, and you can't go in and look at the glasses. You go in and they bring them out on a fucking plate, the ones that they've determined will suit you. And it's so infantilizing. It's like... This is stupid. Someone might fucking think this is cool, but not me. I'd like to make my own decisions, please, because I'm an adult, not some fucking spineless little twat that needs to have this stuff force-fed to me. Ugh, I don't like it.
Exactly. I completely agree. Totally agree. And just the very act of, I was thinking, I should really need to smell some new things, especially. Anyway, the act of filling in the quiz and spending my £10, which is, very, very relatively cheap for
Fuck
5.
it. They'll have to pay me
mil,
£10 to
3
fill
mil
in their
things.
fucking quiz. Pricks.
Yeah. Anyway, they came and I've only tried one of them and it was 01.
Sounds shit.
Or something.
Sorry, I've got a downer on this lot already.
I love it. Let's just keep it. Amazing. It's called Lunar Bud, and it's an incredibly bright, clean cotton musk. And it's a little bit punchy and on the nose for me, but it's actually, I was surprised that accompanied with all of this annoying fluff around the outside. I was expecting to fucking hate their frags, but the one I tried was actually quite nice, and it's
Well, that was a shit
have some
ending.
tuberose in. I'm so sorry, Dan.
Well, I hate it already. I mean, the idea that
It's very green.
the idea that you have to take a quiz before they'll let you fucking buy their sample set, and you have to buy their sample set before they'll let you buy a perfume, just seems to be fucking stupid. It's fucking stupid. Someone thought it was a good idea somewhere, but it's not. It's a shit idea, and they're pricks.
And the other hilarious thing is it comes with these little smelling strips, and they've got little squares on it. So it's got scent where you write the scent on them. Very nice. And then they've got these 3 tick boxes, and the choices for your tick boxes are like, love, and must have.
Oh.
They haven't got a tick box for dislike or fuck off. Or scrub.
Yeah, scrub.
Which I'm like,
Yeah, where's
there's no tick box
the
for
fuck
that.
you box?
There's no fuck you box.
Fuck them. They need one. I hate them. I fucking hate them. I hate everything about what you've just described. It just sounds like it's the worst kind of fucking moron-led marketing bullshit. It's everything that's wrong with marketing people. Oh, I've got this great idea and it's fucking brilliant. And what we going to do? Fuck off, you pricks. Anyway, right.
I have to say I agree.
Good. But you spent your £10, so More fool you.
Well, I feel like it was worth spending £10 just to hear you rant.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Right, okay, so DM, what have you got there in your little yellow mitt, Ben?
So this, I reckon, is a summer one, but it might be open to interpretation. It's Monocle Scent 3 Sugi, which was Comme des Garçons with Monocle, like did a collaboration. Monocle as in like the lifestyle magazine.
Right. I love the fact it's in a yellow bottle for a start. That's fucking awesome.
I know, it's cool, right? It's the whole thing just looks cool, right? It's like, look at that.
Monocle.
But Monocle, yeah. But it smells like, and I think it's probably exactly what they're going for, is like a Japanese spa or something. It's like white woods, a little bit of iris, and a little bit of sort of vetiver in the base. A very musky thing. But it's very sort of spa-like and classy hotel. But that doesn't sound all that summery, but I don't know. That I think perhaps like the citrus in the white woods kind of like help it to give it a lightness and a levity that make it for summer. Like it's the iris isn't too powdery. It's just sort of there in the background, almost a little bit classic smelling. And I think it's great. And I don't think it's great for summer in like the heat of summer, but I do think it's great for like summer evenings. You know, like if you were going out, for example, go sit in a pub garden on a summer evening, I think it was really nice for that. It's got an outdoorsiness to it. It's mainly woody. I mean, it's Comme des Garçons, so it's, you know, it's sort of a bit weird and very woody anyway. But it's nice. I think what's interesting about it is it somehow has that mix of like a juxtaposition of like that kind of industrialized wood that Comme des Garçons tend to like do, with this sort of almost like classicism of like powdery iris. It's good. It's nice.
It sounds
I like
good.
It.
It sounds interesting.
Yeah.
I just riffing on that theme though. The Japanese brand that I now cannot remember the name of.
Fluoride?
No. The actual Japanese brand, not the culturally
Japanese brand.
Not the culturally appropriated Japanese brand by the Irish Globetrotter. He, sportsman, Irish sportsman, Globetrotter. She,
Globetrotter.
Poet Catalan. And what was the other? Fucking
Parisienne or something like that.
Pick 3 words.
It was two. She has 2 nationalities and only one thing to do, whereas he's got 1 nationality and does 2 things.
Yeah.
From what I
Who's
remember.
the smarter of that bunch? So there is a Japanese perfume brand, and I cannot for the life of me remember their name now. I'm going to have to fucking look it up.
Are you talking about the really, really expensive ones?
Well, they have
only do like little bottles.
Well, some of them are expensive. They've got like a sort of they've got quite a range. God, this is just annoying me now. I'm gonna have to fucking look it up. Talk amongst yourselves. But Japanese perfume in general makes good summer perfume because it tends to be very light, you know, quite airy, quite transparent sort of stuff, you know.
Izzy Miyake does a lovely one called Drop to Issy, which is a super sort of minimal, creamy, almost Nivea thing that I've got 10 ml of, which is, again, like you say, it's just light. And a lot of those Izzy Miyakes, I think, are quite, for me, very fresh and delicious.
Right. Well, I was thinking of D-Sir. D-I, one word, and then Sir, S-E-R. And they've got one in particular called Akana Sasu, or I think Akana Sasu, something like that, which is like a very transparent citrus, really delicate, really lovely, and that's ideal summer sort of wears. But I was thinking about, like, when I go on holiday, by the way, most annoying word in the world, hollybobs. If you ever meet someone who says hollybobs, punch those cunts right in the grid. Honestly, you're going to make a case for the hollybobs, aren't you, James?
I'm not, but does, again, no offense, Fliss, it does sound like the kind of thing like Fliss might say. So you're on fucking, I think you're on Is it?
Do you ever say Hollybobs, Fliss?
You have. Why would you hesitate?
Only ironically. I would never say it and mean it.
Ironically. Oh, I'm off on me Hollybobs. Only 3 more sleeps till me Hollybobs. Fuck you.
Yeah, only 3 more sleeps till Hollybobs. No, I might say it. You can kick me in the cunt when you see me later, Dan. It's fine.
Anyway,
well, really, Dan, you should just get over that. Really,
yeah, I probably should. There's all sorts of things that I should get over and have singularly failed to. Urban Pura being one of them. No, we can't get over that. But when I go on holiday, because that to me is like when I go on my summer trip abroad vacation.
I bet you hate vacation even worse, don't you? Fucking Americans.
Vacay. No, I say vacay because that's cool. Yeah. So when I'm on vacay, I tend to take only like about.
Vacay's cool and Hollybobs isn't.
No, I'm being facetious. They're both twatty. Fun fact about the word facetious. It is one of only 2 words in the English language that has all 5 vowels in consecutive order in it. Did you know that? Facetious, A-E-I-O.
Weirdly, I recently heard that somewhere, yes. I think it was on QI.
Do you know what the other one is?
Was it on QI?
It?
Yeah,
okay.
I think so.
Well, do you know what the other one is?
Tell us the other one.
Abstemious.
Oh, no, I don't know that one.
Oh, that's a nice one.
What does that mean?
It means someone who abstains from stuff is abstemious. So I am not abstemious when it comes to alcohol. Anyway, where was I? I was talking about vacay and Hollybobs.
Where is anything at the moment?
I have no idea. If I am actually packing perfumes to go on holiday, here's what I am genuinely taking in my suitcase.
Boom.
Okay, and I'm probably taking 2 perfumes. I'm taking Louis Vuitton Imagination, and I am taking Creed Royal Mayfair or Royal Windsor, one or the other. Those are probably my 2 main things. I might pack a 3rd or a 4th for fun, but those are the 2 that will always go with me, I think, because they are, for me, the absolute fucking essence of a nice summer holiday. So there's me. There's my actual summer perfumes. What are your actual summer perfumes? Bear in mind, we've only got a couple of minutes left, so I want to know your actual summer perfumes that you would pack. You can have I'll give you a maximum of 5, but really probably fewer than that. What are the ones you would actually stick in your fucking suitcase and take on a plane with you on your Hollybobs/vacay to somewhere nice and warm? James, I'm going to pick on you because you look like you're not paying attention.
No, I am paying attention. I'm desperately trying to find, because I don't really go on holiday, but I did last year, and I took a load of samples with me, so probably not the best example. So I don't know. I mean, just off the top of my head, I would take, and I wore it the other day, and everyone hates it. You probably fucking hate it, but I don't care. It's Juliet Has a Gun, Moscow Mule.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. I like it. I don't know it. I mean, it's a very throwaway, very attacky sort of citrus, but it does really have that, like the Moscow Mule's in like one of those copper, you're supposed to have it in a copper cup, aren't you? It's like a vodka cocktail,
I
isn't
don't
it?
know.
A Moscow Mule's like a vodka cocktail with like citrus, like lime and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to have it in one of those because I don't know if it gives it like extra, like it's like a fucking Baghdad battery or something. It gives it like an extra bit of a zing to it.
Baghdad battery? Is that a cocktail I've done? No.
No, it should be. It should be. No, well, you know, we were talking about Saddam, weren't we, before? So,
But we'd finished. But
it was a good link, though. Well done.
Well, no, Baghdad battery is like an ancient battery that they found in Egypt, isn't it? Where it's basically like a ceramic pot with, you know, fucking acid in it or whatever, and you know, it would make like a tiny bit of power that they potentially maybe used for something, even though they can't quite prove it. Anyway, so I'm just saying this drink completely fucking, I don't know, you know, it was a throwaway comment. Come on, guys, don't hold me to the fucking, you know, electrical fucking engineering. Right. So yeah, basically it's this copper cup with a thing in. I like it because it's kind of slightly powdery and airy, but it's got this like citrus kind of like twang to it. I also like stuff like what's it called? Eau de Lacoste Blanc, which is just like the white Lacoste fragrance, which I fucking love that shit. It's pretty throwaway. I mean, it says it's like ylang ylang and something else, but it's kind of just it's a bit of a cocktail. It's a bit Batucada potentially on the top, but it's almost like it's sort of fruity but creamy. It's like it's almost like a mini milk, but like with a bit of like citrus with it. It's like having a lolly and a mini milk at the same time. Yeah,
nice.
So what else do I like? Koros. Just to be like
right in the eyes like that on the head.
Do you know what? Last year I did take a Koros sample, like an 80s fucking like, you know, I think Rich Mitch or somebody sent it me, or I bought it. I think I bought it online, and it was like, oh, this is like the Charles of the fucking de Ritz or of the Ritz or whatever the fuck it's called. And I was like, all right, okay. It's what I sprayed it on, and like in Portugal in the heat and everything. And I don't care. Like, yes, we want like fresh things and stuff like that, but you also, some days you want to fucking wallow in it. And the extra heat that you don't often experience here can like open up those big perfumes even further, and you can have some kind of weird experience with them. And I like the fact that you're walking around in this kind of environment and like people can smell you and go, fucking hell, that's brave. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't do that. Like in this heat, you know what I mean? You're a fucking
brave lad.
Yeah. So yeah. What else? Yeah, I took loads of samples, so I just because the whole thing is, I still have it in my head. You can't take full bottle. I mean, of course you can, but I don't. Yeah, I know you can, but like I often think, well, if I'm going to buy something and bring it back, then I don't want all shit that I'm taking with me.
Yeah.
But I understand you have a slight arsenal, but yeah, I mean, samples is a good way to go because you can have different experiences every day. But yes,
I decant everything on holiday.
Yeah.
All of my holiday stuff is decanted into 10 mils.
All right.
Just because then if it breaks or if I get lost or whatever, just nothing is then. I'm never losing so much perfume that would make me very, very sad.
So I should say the other one that's come on holiday with me repeatedly has been Roger Dove Oceania, which is lovely. But the only one that I put in my hand luggage is the Creed, because that's the one that is irreplaceable. The other two can, you know, it's not ideal to lose a bottle of Louis Vuitton, but I mean, if I do, it's hardly like, you know, it's not like I've lost a fucking limb or anything. All right, so Fliss, when you are decanting, what are you taking on your vacay?
Well, I'm assuming that I'm going somewhere nice and hot, possibly tropical.
You can go wherever you want, love. You know, it's your holiday.
So I would take 10 ml decants of Virgin Island water.
Nice. I didn't have you down as a Virgin Island water gal, but
I'm not, unless I'm on holiday and I've got like I've got like 30 ml left.
Really?
And I really, for me, it just smells.
It is holiday smell, isn't it?
you own a yacht and you're standing on it. I mean, it's quite fleeting. So you're only standing on your yacht for about 10 minutes.
Don't own a real
for those
yacht.
10 minutes,
Smell
you smell
this.
amazing. yeah. I do love it. Songe by Goutal, which is a really thick, heavy, beachy white flower that is just in the heat of the evening, just comes off you, and it's all tiare and yang and like all of those tropical flowers, and it's huge.
Nice.
And I love stinking people out with that. That's amazing. Terracotta by Guerlain, which is a much lighter version of the same thing, but it's that beachy tropical flower thing that you could wear terracotta during the day, and whereas Songe I think you could only wear in the evenings. Delta of Venus by Eris, and I said earlier it was mango. It's not, it's guava. And I love that fruity, juicy green. Just makes me happy. And then I would also just take Lovely by Sarah Jessica Parker, just to palette cleanse occasionally. That is that one. Yeah, that's what
I was talking to my mum about Lovely the other day because she wears it all the time, and she said a lot of people compliment her on it. And they say, "Oh, you smell lovely," and she's like, "I know,
bloody do.
I know,
I know,
exactly."
I would say it's apart from Chypre Palatin, it's my most complimented perfume.
Wow!
And it's literally it's 20 quid for 100 ml.
Get some.
It's amazing, and every time I wear it, somebody will say, "You smell lovely."
Okay, Ben, you're going on your holiday. You're going somewhere warm and sunny, possibly a wedding in Barcelona. Who knows? What are you packing?
Dior Ballade Sauvage.
Nice.
Figgy green, nice. L'Homme Ideal, cool.
Fuck yeah.
Or cologne, rather. Decita Anam Cara, which is that peachy one.
I thought of that and used with that one. Yeah.
That's bloody gorgeous.
Bloody gorgeous.
Tom Ford Oud Mineral and Beaufort Lignum Vitae, which is like lemon cake, lemon drizzle cake.
But that's full on lemon cake. That's like
Lignum
that's
Vitae.
like whoa, and the hot and the sun and all the cake is dripping on you, and it's like sticky.
Yeah.
Wow, you're mental.
You're a bad man. Okay, good. Well, it's nice to know what you are all packing in your suitcases. I promised that we would bring us in on the hour. We're a couple of minutes over, so fuck it. What can you do? I have had a wonderful time. This was not necessarily it, but, I've had a wonderful time at some point today, I'm sure.
So rude,
The burn. Well, I tell you what. I would like to not try your DM fragrances. That has actually put me in a bad mood. So
I'll send them to you.
I'll tell you what. Send them, but don't put a stamp on it so that they send me the bill to sort of pay the postage excess, and then I'll refuse to pay it, and that way I will feel some sort of equity with the universe. So, look, as always, it's been wonderful. And James, fantastic to have you back. We missed you last week. So, yay! We will be back in another 2 weeks if we can coordinate our shit, because, it's difficult. But yeah, we aim to be back in another 2 weeks. Until next time, we've been Les Oderants. Bye and all that. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.